thank you guys for joining us. The way it's going to work is we're going to have fun. We're going to have a nice conversation. I have a very cool and special guest that's going to join us in about 20 minutes. I appreciate y'all submitting. All of y'all gave me some really cool questions, and I've selected some to answer for y'all. What I'm going to do is kind of switch back and forth to conversation like this, and then a PowerPoint I've got. And so with that, let me screen share over there. All righty. So welcome to the inaugural Stud Talk. Seersucker Stud launched this week. Our first guest is Kyle Kuhlman, and I'm excited to be hosting this, and I know we're going to have a really great time. With that, let's get to the first question. It's from Zach. Zach asks, what is a typical day in the life of the Seersucker Stud like, as opposed to your days as a lawyer? First off, let me show you one photograph I found, or actually my mom had to text me this today. That's me in Austin with my mom. It was 2005, and I was in Austin. That's where the big swearing in is with the state bar. So one kind of very interesting thing about that photo, if you pay attention to me and have known me for a long time, I only wear bow ties. That's all I wear, and since college for sure. And so I think what was going on at this time is I was a baby lawyer at this firm that was very kind of wonderful, but a little bit of intimidating. And I just thought that anything I could do to make me look older or more sophisticated, I was going to try it. And once I was there for about 6 months, I was just like, fuck this, I'm going back to my bow ties. But Zach, so your question, okay, so first of all, the life of the Seersucker Stud is very glamorous. And he's like in a jockstrap in LA or Paris or whatever. So he's always having a fabulous time. Ryan is a little bit of a different ball game. I actually loved being a lawyer. I was in big divorce law, so that carried a lot of stress with the client interaction. But like I mentioned, the firm was kind of outstanding, had very high profile cases. We got to work on with things with a lot of issues of first impression. That is it was a very different kind of stress that I'm going to now have. I now have, because, I was up at that law firm all the time, 3 a.m, preparing for depositions and stuff like that. So now I have the ultimate freedom. I can take a nap whenever I want to, or go work out. But if I don't work all the time, then I can't pay my bills. So back at the law firm days, things were paid. My health insurance benefits were taken care of, and all of that stuff. So I love both. And so coming out of my last career, which was also entrepreneurship and owning our own business, you can see which direction I went. I much prefer to be independent and on my own. I really enjoy that. Okay, so great question. Thank you. Next question. Okay, this is from my really good friend Timmy. He's asked me, how many jock straps do you have? That's a wonderful question, Timmy. I'm really glad we got right to it with that. Before I tell you the answer, I'm going to show you some of my favorites. To answer your question, or does anybody have a guess? Let me say before I say the number, because I've counted all of them. I have them. I'll show you. I have them right here. This does not count like leather or rubber. I have those like somewhere else. These are just my normal cloth kind of jock straps. And also, I do toss them out over the time. So if they're raggedy and I've worn them a lot, I'll get rid of them. So this is not a lifetime number, but any guesses?
40?
Good guess. That's a good guess.
Maybe
37.
Y'all are getting really close. It's 33. 33. 33. So, go. 33. Yeah. There we go. There we go. 33. My favorite ones are the Nasty Pig. Like this is the one I was wearing, and the one with Tate. This one I think I have it in all the colors. It's my favorite. I think it highlights my butt the best and also is the most comfortable. When you registered, there's going to be some prizes. And so we're going to have a little bit of a game. And I think I can probably handle this without going to the PowerPoint. But I do want to show y'all first what the prize options are. Okay, so the winner is going to get a choice of Seersucker stud set of 4 coasters. Okay, or the beautiful Seersucker stud mask. Okay, so this is the way this is going to work, y'all. And so don't yell it out. You got to put your answer in the chat. Okay, so the first one to put it in the chat is going to win the prize. And so don't yell it out, because then you'll give somebody else the answer if you're right. Okay, so on the Thirst Trap 101 YouTube series, I wear 3 different colored shirts. What colors are they?
Oh shit.
Yeah, I was just watching that. I have an advantage.
Everybody pull up your YouTube real fast. What are you into? Some of y'all.
Oh, this is the second one. Mm-hmm.
Some of y'all need to just guess.
You said the first one? The first one? Or I'm on episode 2. Hold on.
I have a feeling Zach's gonna get it for the win. That's Jim, good guess, but Zach, you got it. White, blue, and pink. Congratulations, Zach. Tell me, what prize do you want?
I want the coasters.
Okay, nice. And that means you're local, so I can get these to you. Otherwise, you were going to have to Venmo me for the shipping. I'm teasing. Congratulations and thank you. I know you've enjoyed that YouTube, and I appreciate that. So, and I think you also, I really appreciated y'all. Zach, he subscribed before they were live or uploaded, so that's double points. I appreciate that. Our special guest is in the room. Kyle, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
How are you?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. We've got a wonderful, intimate group tonight. We've played a game, and I've shown off literally all of my jock straps already.
All the massive amounts.
I'm so sorry you had to miss that. Hey, let me just ask, before we get into your interview officially, how many jock straps do you have?
You know what? I've actually lost count. I've had to start putting them in storage now because, you know, you kind of rotate out through the masses of them.
I know you have more than me. I don't keep I kind of toss some over time. So my number was 33, and that's kind of probably pretty low.
Yeah, I have, you know what is so funny though, is like with, you know, Instagram and having being, you know, an influencer for so many underwear brands and stuff, I wear tidy whities like every day. Like I'm like, I like sexy underwear and I like wearing them and I like shooting in them, but you know, it's either like no undies or like something like comfortable and secure, you know?
I am with you on that. I am a briefs guy. Kyle, can you turn your video on?
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, people need to see you.
Oh, here. I was wondering. I was like, I can't see myself. Hi, guys.
Hi. I am definitely a briefs guy, except for, I don't know, kind of special occasions. Like if I'm in a suit, I think it feels hot to kind of have a jock underneath.
Yep, absolutely.
And
there
so
with you.
Actually, I lied a little bit, y'all, when I held up all my jock straps and said this is all of them, because I'm actually wearing one right now. Shocker. Kyle, welcome. Listen, thank you so much for joining us. We're making history on the first ever Stud Talk, and it means a lot to me that you're my first guest. Guys, Kyle's one of my favorites, and if you went to his page and checked things out beforehand, you can obviously see his talent and the great diversity of imagery that he presents on his page. And so we're going to have a nice conversation. Kyle, I'm going to switch right now to the PowerPoint, and then we'll start to get into some questions, okay?
Great.
Okay, so here we are featuring Kyle Kuhlman. Y'all, there are his Insta handles if you aren't following him yet. The one at the bottom is actually for your photography. Can you tell us a little? And this photo, I'd like you to kind of just. So you took this photo?
About 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, I was shooting so much for promotional companies and stuff, and I was traveling around the world. So I actually lived and worked on cruise ships for the last like 8 years of my life. And so it was wonderful because I got to shoot with a lot of photographers around the world in different countries, but it was really hard to keep up with, you know, the maintaining social media and stuff. So I ended up buying my own camera, and then I have obviously throughout the years made a lot of really good friends with a bunch of photographers who kind of like taught me their ways, taught me editing, imagery, and like when you're like shooting and stuff, angles. And so, yeah, so this picture, what I do now for the most part, I can't claim all of it. I either shoot on a tripod, or my partner, actually, I will figure out the settings for everything. And then he kind of just like snaps the shot. But he's done it enough times now that he knows like what to do. And that this picture was actually taken out at a tennis court in Malaysia, from all the places.
So that's another reason why I picked it. Actually, Kyle, I'm sure you've read all through my website this week, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
I was a big tennis player, and I didn't see much of this when I was playing tennis. And so I love it. I also think it really brings out your personality. So I love that pick. Y'all, here's the thing about all of this, like Thirst Trap 101 and blah, blah, blah. I have a Thirst Trap page and blah, 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 and I love it. But I'm also the biggest, most obsessed person with following them too. So here was my first DM up to Kyle. And he was really nice. So thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that.
Of course. I feel like when you see 2020, it feels like so much longer that we've been like in communication.
I know I know. Well, there was at some point though, I think you probably had to get a restraining order against you. So, like, I'm teasing. No, you've always been very sweet. I don't know if I would have ever mentioned this to you. I certainly had the same feelings about it. But when George Floyd murder happened, that was a real time to kind of look around and see what people's values were and what they were up to. And I remember it was you that it was in your story or a post or something that says, the guys that are just continuing to only share their sexy photographs, everybody needs to kind of look at that and see what's going on there.
I remember.
I
remember that.
I saw that. I mean, but I withdrew it was at least 2 weeks that I needed to just reassess what was going on and everything that was happening. So at least for me, I think for sure your efforts there are definitely making a difference. I want to talk about what you're up to now, but let's go way back. Or for you probably like not too long ago. For me, it would be way back. Tell us about where you grew up and your family. What was your childhood like?
Okay, so I had an extremely unconventional family dynamic. So I grew up in, I don't know if anybody is familiar with the College Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I grew up in South Bend, Indiana, which is where Notre Dame is from. So an extremely red, conservative, like the most
Mhm.
conservative you could possibly get. But my family, my mom and dad are the type of parents that kind of have like liberal views on social injustice and stuff, but have conservative views on economics.
Wow.
We disagree with a lot of things. But that being said, I grew up going to nudist camps. So my dad actually he grew up going to nudist camps, which, you know, I get both negative and positive of people messaging me about my Instagram, you know, like, why are you doing this? Or we love this. How do you have such great body positivity and, you know, so forth. And, you know, a lot of it stems from growing up being taught that being naked isn't something that has to be sexualized. It's the norm. I mean, when you go to nudist camps and you go to conventions, it's very strange, but you have to be naked to do most of the stuff. You have to be naked to be in the pool. You have to be naked to, my dad, I know that it sounds a little strange, but went to play volleyball. Like he was like a professional volleyball player. So you had to literally be nude to do anything, because I think it really did help with the inclusivity of being comfortable around everybody that is the same. You know what I mean? Being open to different body types and to different people. And yeah, so grew up.
You mentioned your parents, but you have siblings too, right?
I do. So it was a little bit different. I mean, I don't have kids, so I can't say. But my sister, so I have a younger sister and a younger brother, and my sister and my brother ended up going to nudist camps. But I think that once my sister started going through puberty, we ended up cycling out of that a little bit more. Also, my dad getting older. Really, the real reason, unfortunately, why we went is for him to play volleyball. So once he wasn't really keeping up with that and able to do that very much, we kind of did phase out of going. But that has kind of stayed with my entire family. I mean, and we still are very close with a lot of the friends that like it's funny, like we'll all have friends over at my house and my dad will have his friends over, and I'm literally like, I've seen all of them naked.
Oh, that's interesting.
But like, yeah.
I'm gonna say right now that this show could end right now, and I'm already amazed at that information you've. I have certainly not learned that about you through your Instagram, but I think that's awesome, and that has, you know, been a learning experience for your family. I do believe I have seen your sister, and the good looks run in the family.
Yeah, and on top of that, she is a biochemist, so that really kind of hits. I was like, I'm gonna be like the front runner in the family, and then she comes along, and I'm like, okay, I can't even compete.
I've got one more photo, and I'd like you to tell me about this person and this photo. Who's that guy?
That is just a little British boy that is across the pond right now. That's my partner, Kurt.
I liked it.
What?
I liked that photo today.
Oh,
Yep.
thank you. No, I took that with, I was visiting him. So he was working on a cruise ship and we were in, St. Thomas, obviously it says at the top. And that was kind of like this, it was fairly soon of the start of our relationship. And yeah, I mean, he is very wonderful. He's very sweet and caring and very supportive, which is a huge thing for me. I mean, I think that a lot of Instagram influencers and things that we do, it's hard to keep up with people who, you know, support us in what we do and what it is. I mean, and he has embraced it. He has taken a handful of nudes and it's sometimes not his thing, and that's completely okay.
Oh, so that's a surprise. because y'all, you need to also follow Kyle's partner's page, because it does not look like he's uncomfortable. To me, he is. It's y'all are very, very beautiful. It's kind of disgusting a little.
Thank you. Yeah.
We don't have much longer on our program, and I'm going to wrap up with a few things. But Kyle, I released my YouTube today, where I'm giving a tutorial on how to have one of these thirst trap pages. So what's your advice? What is your advice for folks that want to be in this sort of Instagram thirst trap influencer world? Give us your best advice.
Oh gosh, it's so hard. I mean, it's a lot of work, and it is, I mean, it's something that you have to unfortunately stay on top of. But what I would say is like, be as authentic as you can possibly be when you're doing it. I mean, the thing that I personally, and I have started doing this, but I wasn't doing this, is a lot of people look at my Instagram and look at my pictures, and they'll message me or they'll say specific things, you know, whether it be sexual or mean or nice or whatever the case is, the all spectrum. And unfortunately, I have to say that, you know, a lot of what you see on Instagram truly doesn't really reflect me. And like you went, I think that it's funny because all of the smiling photos, that's what reflects me, even if I'm clothed or not clothed. But like a lot of people, a lot of your followers, a lot of the people that you are messaging you and giving you promotional stuff or reaching out to you and stuff, they want to see what is the biggest draw in your Instagram. And that's okay. And there's a way to still stay authentic. There's still a way to, you know, do and be who you are through social media, and still kind of adhere to the man, to do what everyone else has to do to get there, because it is a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time to get, you know, a lot of followers and a good following and or viewers or whatever the case is. But I think that the more you stay authentic to why you started it and why you want to do it, the longer you're going to enjoy it. Because if you're not, there will come a time where you don't want to do it anymore because it doesn't make you feel good. How many followers you have, you know?
I love all of that advice. I don't know if I've probably messaged you this at some point a long time ago. Again, I don't know how. It probably was through a photographer or something where I found your page or saw it, and it was coming across my screen, but I swear at the beginning I did not know it was the same person. I thought it was a page where they have multiple models, and you are capable of having all of these different looks and facial hair or not, or glasses or not, or things you're wearing. And, you know, that's been very inspiring for me, actually, because in some of my early stuff, I had this close cropped haircut and trimmed everything and briefs, and that was my game, and it was really wonderful. Well, that's fun for a while, but it's not really me. It's also not authentic. I like the diversity. And so seeing you really nail it and pull that off has been very beneficial to me. So thank you.
And going into photography as well, to see the other side, whatever that case may be, to see the other side of what you're doing. I love to live in my flaws. I love to live in what I don't think is perfect and I don't think is great for everybody, because, you know, someone thinks it's perfect and someone thinks it's beautiful. And, you know, I don't really over edit a lot of my photos or enhance anything. I am like a slender, skinny boy. And I'm okay with that. I'm never going to be huge. I'm not going to be a muscle builder. You know what I mean? And so, so it's okay to live in that, because so many people out there think it's beautiful. And yes, if you decide to do it, you're going to get the negativity of no matter the skin color or your size or whatever, but there are going to be so many people who see it and appreciate it because maybe that's them and they need that confidence. Whether you have it or not, it looks like you do. And that depicts to other people around the world doing that. And I think that that's the greatest thing about social media is that you can reach so many different people from all around the world of all different colors and sizes and backgrounds and religions and stuff. And there will be people who see you and they're like, thank you for that. Thank you for this, because that's what I needed to hear. That's what I needed to see. And you don't realize that until you get that one message that's like, wow, thank you so much for doing this. You know what I mean? And that just, it makes all of the work and the aggravation so worth it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I've kept you y'all please give it up for Kyle, please, and thank him.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I had an absolute blast.